engineering at that time, but right from the invention of wheel by human beings, the engineering started. I keep talking about interdisciplinary approach to engineers. I try to speak in the language of doctors, in the language of social scientists, in the language of economists, in the language of finance people. To doctors, I try to tell them, yesterday I was addressing some eminent young doctors. I said, you people should learn a bit of engineering. Okay. So when I talk to social science people, again I say the same thing. Without understanding engineering, it becomes very difficult. So interdisciplinary approach becomes the most important aspect for utilization of knowledge for human progress. In this regard, this subject of industrial engineering is very dear to my heart, for the simple reason that it was the first engineering discipline which cut across borders of different engineering disciplines, and interdisciplinary approach was initiated. If all of us want to progress further, we should take it beyond the boundaries of engineering itself. Okay, there are lots of areas like biomedical engineering, okay, and then social engineering. Engineering revolution is taking place in practically every sphere of human activity. So this is how we have to perhaps take it to the next level of real human development. As you know, today the quality of life, comfort of life, okay, the progress of human beings is influenced by industrial engineering so much especially in the last 2 centuries. Perhaps no other discipline, be it science, be it technology, be it any other discipline of human knowledge, perhaps it wouldn't have influenced so much as industrial engineering has influenced. It has made human life easier, human life better. The quality of life has improved. Okay. I don't have to talk to you about industrial engineering, you know better, but I feel an industrial engineer is like an amoeba. Okay, he has no shape. It's like Indian concept of God, Nirakar, there is no shape at all, okay, and no characteristic, Nirguna, okay. So an industrial engineer will have to get into any shape, any dimension, okay, and get into any organization, and he should be able to perform any function that's available. Okay. In fact, every sphere of human activity today requires an industrial engineer to improve the processes, to improve the products. Okay. This is how actually we have to improve human endeavor for better life. They asked me, my friend Mr. Janakram, when he came to me, I asked him, what do you want me to talk to such eminent industrial engineers? Then he said, why don't you talk about global competitiveness through industrial engineering with the example of Hyderabad Metro Rail. But these are such vast subjects. Global competitiveness itself is such a vast subject. If I have to start from, say, Adam Smith, first, the father of economics, actually, if I have to talk about the wealth of nations onwards, actually, how the competitiveness started, then see, that itself is a vast subject. Industrial engineering itself is a vast subject. HMR itself, for hours and hours, I can talk about the engineering innovation we are bringing in to this city, to this country. Lots of issues are there. But in the limited time, I try to cover a few things. Patients or poor chaps who can't afford, because he has to recover, okay, the money he has spent on his education, or his parents spent on his education. So how do we become competitive? Ultimately, the purpose of anything is basically reduction in cost. This gentleman, to reduce the cost of education, the cost of surgical methods itself is a very expensive thing, okay, very costly it is. So what he did was, basically what you have to do for surgery, you can't cut human beings straight, okay, so you have to find the tissues which are similar to human skin, okay. So he did quite a lot of research actually. So ultimately he located that chicken skin is nearer to human skin, okay. Similarly, goat's hooves are nearer, okay, for certain things. Similarly, cow's intestines, okay, by cutting that actually by surgical operation, actually you can start operating on human bodies. So with these things, and where would he get these things? Go to a mutton shop, okay. The wastage, that chap, the butcher, is finding it difficult actually to dispose of those things, okay. So this guy goes, I will take some nominal amount. He'll be very happy. Please take it free, okay. Please I want to get rid of this material, okay. Otherwise, I would also like to tell you another thing. I was in the municipal corporation. These chaps, what they do is they dump it into the drain that is available. The drain gets clogged, okay. We lay road layer after layer. That gets next day itself it gets so many other things. Anyway, so this is how actually this is innovation. I call it actually. Whichever discipline you are working, actually, our aim shall be to bring down the costs. Okay. I keep telling this actually. See, ours is a nation of 120 crore population. Okay. Look at countries like, I am not talking about European countries. I am not talking about America. Okay, where industrial revolution, cultural renaissance, democratic processes started centuries ago. I am not talking about those developed countries, economic prosperity. I am talking about countries of Southeast Asia, which got independence much later than us. Go to Singapore. It used to be a fisherman's village. Okay. Go to Hong Kong. Go to South Korea. South Korea is a country with a population of 60 million. 6 crore population is the population of South Korea. It was war-torn economy. Okay. Even today, you know what's happening actually from the North Korea, which is absolute anarchy and chaos there. Japan ruined it. They got independence later than us. If you have a look at the country, 3/4 of that country doesn't have, it's useless land actually. So these are all hillocks, etc. Nothing is there, nothing grows there. No natural resource whatsoever is available in that country. When the present president, her father was a military leader, he was practically a dictator. 50 years ago, when he took over the country, he realized that if South Korea has to develop, the only way is human resource development and nothing else. So he made compulsory education in South Korea. Any person who has to become a graduate will have to undergo a compulsory 1-year military training in South Korea. Today, look at South Korea. Where is South Korea and where are we? With a population of 120 crore, we are not able to produce a single international brand that can be recognized internationally. Whereas South Korea, how many brands it has produced? Think of Samsung, think of Hyundai, think of Rotem, think of anything, LG, any product today, starting from motor vehicles, right up to sophisticated electronics, the entire spectrum of engineering, actually, how many products they have produced? How did they produce? How did it happen? What happened to our nation? We have to think over. Nothing negative whatsoever would be ever published or ever shown in the media. They made it a rule, actually. Today, if you want to see Japanese newspapers, Japanese channels, etc., nothing negative comes. In fact, they have gone to the extreme extent of the recent atomic problem last year when they had actually. Even that they were not showing, actually, it created. So the point is that actually, whereas here you look at our channels, you look at our newspapers, what do we get? Day in and day out, only somebody has thrown a bomb, somebody has killed this thing, criminal things, actually, see, agitations, okay? You throw a stone at a glass building, what happens? Glass will fall on the road, actually, it will be thousands of pieces of these things. So you keep on showing that, okay? You think this is our channel, the purpose is this. Anyway, the point is that actually, see, nations have to change, okay? Nations have to become competitive. Nations have to become cost competitive. To become cost competitive, you will have to have an engineering mind that is basically, by engineering, I don't mean engineers alone, okay? I keep telling my finance people, actually, I am from the finance background. Of course, I keep shifting, actually. Last 30 years, I have been in projects. I have learned a lot of engineering. I have a lot of respect for engineering. I keep telling my finance professionals, okay? I said, the best finance professionals are actually engineers. Engineers can produce better financial results when compared to finance people themselves. Because financial people, all of us, we keep on playing with models, actually. See, on paper, we'll show nice balance sheets, nice returns, this, etc. But where do you get? Ultimately, you have to get it from the shop floor, okay? The cost competitiveness of a nation, of a company, of an organization basically comes from the shop floor. You have to realize this. This is what I keep talking about.